Hey, I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no. I ain't talking to no cop and I ain't telling on my bros. Ain't no but don't push me, fingers itching on that. Plotting on my come up, gotta watch stay at my nose. Long nights just to hit the studio. Now I'm eating steak and shrimp, I ain't eating sloppy Joe. Looking to the mirror, flexing now and in his glow. Bust off like a welcome to the rodeo. Shorty wanna me cousin wearing gold. I came up and made it happen, now it's by the stove. Big inside this case is one. Do me dirty, I'ma find you, lay out on the floor. 19 with a I got rich by myself. Rather do this alone, I wasn't asking for no help. They keep asking how I'm winning with the card that I was dealt. Boy, I work hard for the seat and I ain't fucking.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of the divisional round playoffs on EA Sports. We are just moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New England Patriots. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. Straight ahead, we punch the second of 2 tickets to the AFC title game, and we've got a great one in store between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New England Patriots. Hello, everyone. As the postseason continues here on EA Sports, we're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are, you say that that's an advantage. You'll take the rest, you'll take the week off, get your guys healed up a little bit and ready to go. But that team that's coming in off of a win last week, they're really excited to keep playing. They feel like they are hot and ready to go.
For a berth in the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Time to focus in on Phillip Rivers as he brings out the Chargers offense. And looking back to week 4, Rivers passed John Elway to move into 8th place all-time in passing yards. And the 2 guys ahead of him now in 6th and 7th, both active, both from his draft class, Charles, Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, so when you start about draft classes with quarterbacks, obviously 1983 comes up big. I mean, it's got its own show, all right? People talk about it all the time. Elway, of course, was part of that. But this class of 2004, that's Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and, of course, Phillip Rivers, give them a pretty good run for their money, aren't they?
Yeah, quite a few wins, quite a few Super Bowls in that crew. Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. The safety, Patrick Chung, is the one who makes the stop. And the offensive starters here for Los Angeles.
I have to admit, I've rather enjoyed watching Melvin Gordon's improvement as he's developed as an NFL player, because it started for me in college. Every year he was in school, he would add something extra to his game. First year, he knew how to run. He wanted to add pass receiving to his game. The next year, he wanted to add pass protection to his game. Did all of that. That turned him into a first-rounder, and now a front-line NFL back.
Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. Eluding the pressure right. Going underneath for Gordon. It's a first down and more for Gordon. Nifty move by Gordon. And he'll take this down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well. But that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out. Finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them. And we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. Defensively, here are the starters for New England. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
I was so proud of you in our meeting with the defensive coordinator because you asked the question that set him off. And all you said was, so what improvement do you need to see this week, Coach? And boy, he got fired up, didn't he? Takeaways. We need turnovers. We've got to create them. Got so animated, jumped up in our meeting. It was fun to watch.
Somehow I always upset a coordinator in those meetings. Yeah. But they like you. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, Rivers. Flush to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep. It's caught at the 10. And he's got this way down inside of New England's 10-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
And perhaps now close to the first points of this divisional round game as it's 1st and goal. They go play action. Rivers, he'll buy some time right. And that'll be incomplete.
And that's what he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. To the air again here, Rivers. They'll roll him out right. And that is incomplete. He was looking for Antonio Gates that time. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we've just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your right.
And he's got his man. It's Henry for a Chargers touchdown. Hunter Henry, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Chargers take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Forget about the storylines of being intimidated in the playoffs on the road. I mean, that was pretty clinical right there.
Yeah, they didn't treat it like it was a playoff game in January, did they?
No.
That felt much more like, hey, we're back in August, running a few drills in the practice field. They seem unaffected by what they're facing in this one.
Extra point up and through. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Stay but left alike.
Tom Brady and the Patriots offense getting set for divisional round matchup with the Chargers. But, you know, recently Tom Brady, he said, I'm not only thinking about this year, I have goals to play next year and beyond that. So, look, he threw for 4,000 again this season, 7th time in the last 8 years, and he's a bionic man, I guess.
I guess so. He has really done a great job of not just taking care of himself. He only had the one season that he had a serious injury. The rest of the time, he knows how to bounce back. What does he say? Pliability leads to availability. Topped the 500 touchdown mark. 517 with 29 touchdown passes this year for his career.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Credit the tackle there to Uchenna Nwosu. And we roll now on the offensive starters, and everybody always loves to talk about Gronk.
And wouldn't a lot of teams love to redraft right now? This guy went in the 2nd round, yet no matter what, you've got a game plan for him when you're opposing him.
And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Here are the starters defensively for the Chargers. They were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
From the gun on 3rd down, Brady. He's got an open man. It's Gronkowski. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Brady to Gronkowski for the Patriot first down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now Brady throwing on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Looking for his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski, and it's 3rd down. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Brandon, unless my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, that's the second time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
10 more there and another first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10.
4 down. Wait, 20.
Now White, powerful running. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Brady to throw on 2nd down. Philip Dorsett hauls it in. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, and it's good for a first down as well.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Wait, 20.
Now a play fake here on first down. To the sideline and complete to Gronkowski. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down. Ah, yes, Brady to Gronk. You think these two are in sync?
Without a doubt. And look, they both understand what they can do for each other. Gronk knows if he gets open, the ball's going to be there. And Tom Brady knows what a great security blanket Gronk is. When all else fails, you find Big 87.
The Patriots into the red zone for the first time. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Into the red zone, it's Brady. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant, A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
Here's Brady to throw. And this is caught by Allen. Touchdown, New England. Dwayne Allen from 3 yards out. And the Patriots are within an extra point of tying this one up.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
It just drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Gostkowski the extra point, and we are tied at 7. Here's Desmond King on the return. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And Charles, I've got to give credit to the Chargers because you finished 12-4, second best record in the AFC, but you find yourself in the wild card game. You traveled across country and play in a 10 a.m. start. If you consider West Coast time, but they found a way to beat Baltimore.
They certainly did, and they were the first team to see Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for Baltimore, twice, and that helped them because they limited him for most of the ball game. Didn't totally shut him down, but made it very difficult for him. Now, how about this? 9-0 this season in games in which they've had to board a plane are the Chargers, and that includes a home game in London. The only loss? And they took a bus across town to play the Los Angeles Rams.
Interesting. And their playoff lives continue. We'll see how they fare this week.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Now that we sit in the postseason, let's talk about some of these awards we've been hitting on all year, Charles. MVP, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to come down to Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback at Kansas City, Drew Brees, quarterback New Orleans, and Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle for Los Angeles Rams. I ultimately think that Mahomes wins this award. I think he distanced himself late in the season from Brees, and it's hard for a defender to win the MVP.
Rookie of the year, Barkley, or does Mayfield have a shot?
Personally, I would give it to Barkley because he's been there all 16, but Mayfield made Cleveland relevant, put them in a position where maybe we were even talking about the playoffs, and boy, the excitement level has really ramped up. I would not be surprised at all if he walked away with the award.
Lastly, what about Coach of the Year? Does Frank Reich have a shot after starting 1-5 in Indy?
He should be in that conversation, shouldn't he? But I think ultimately it comes down to Matt Nagy in Chicago and Anthony Lynn with the Los Angeles.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Rivers has been through this many times as he'll hustle his guys to the line. Play action now. Rivers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, he's been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him. Made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Off the play fake here. Rivers. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
All right, as the Patriots come back out here, take me to school on their upcoming round 2 game against the LA Chargers. How does this one shake down?
Hey, you and I are in the same classroom. We're both sitting right up front trying to get schooled on this ourselves. But I think the Chargers coming in hot, feeling good about their victory on the road in Baltimore. Remember, they won 12 games in the regular season. Beat the number 1 seed Kansas City on their home field. They're very confident, led by Phillip Rivers. But New England, getting that week off by being the number 2 seed, and the Chargers going to their place, a lot of people are going to rely on New England's experience and history to carry them home to a victory. I think the Chargers are coming in awfully hot. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They go play action for White. Now it's Brady. And he'll have his man. That's Edelman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Play action. Now it's Brady. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. An exciting week with a divisional round coming up on the NFC side of things, Charles. Dallas at L.A., the Rams. Philadelphia at New Orleans. What do you think?
Well, I can't wait because Dallas at the Los Angeles Rams, the Rams feel like they've gotten their mojo back down the stretch on offense. Dallas feels like they can pound and bruise against anyone with Ezekiel Elliott carrying the load. That's going to be a marquee game. And how about Philadelphia, New Orleans, the defending Super Bowl champs? Here comes Nick Foles again. New Orleans, the number 1 seed at home. They don't lose at home in the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era in the playoffs. This is going to be fun. Remember, they played earlier this year. and New Orleans wiped out Philadelphia.
And you'll be calling that game. Enjoy it, partner.
Can't wait.
Looking back to the air on second down. It's Brady. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Throwing is Brady on third down. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. On fourth down on now is the lefty Ryan Allen to punt. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So it's on to halftime of this. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. Now it's Patterson. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Now this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Now Brady under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Brady, 12 of 16 thus far. It's 1st and 10.
Wait 20! Wait 20!
Throwing on first down is Brady. Slant route, caught by Edelman. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Wait 20! Wait 20!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
New England on third down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. To throw, it's Brady. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Hayes Pollard coming in to drop him for a loss of 8.
Come to start and comes through clean. Oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at the 20. Now it's a bootleg with Rivers. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Adrian Claiborne in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. To throw is Rivers. Flushed out right. And right side hitter's got it. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a first down.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Set. 390.
The first down throw here for Rivers. Escaping the pressure right. And he fires one incomplete. Keenan Allen, the intended target. And it's second down. Well, while we have a second, let's look ahead to the divisional round of the AFC. Of course, Indianapolis and Kansas City kicking things off. And Charles, the Colts 4-0 all-time versus KC in the playoffs. They're becoming a pretty trendy pick.
They really are, and a lot of it is because of the strength of their offensive and defensive lines, not to mention how Andrew Luck is playing in his comeback season here in 2018. But Kansas City, the #1 seed, they're seeking to break that trend of losing games in the playoffs at home that they shouldn't. This is another opportunity with Patrick Mahomes leading the way.
Speaking of losing games in the playoffs, Phillip Rivers and the Chargers 0-7, including the playoffs against New England with Tom Brady at quarterback. Can they stem the tide?
This is their opportunity. No better chance for the Chargers to get it done. As I always say to you, if not now,